Hi, everybody. Let me turn down this volume here. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Just getting my camera set up here so we can talk about some fun stuff. All right, so how's everybody doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to Demos with Dave. I believe this is episode 13, lucky number 13. So I got something a little different than usual today that I want to go over. Number one is a legacy engine demo, so that's pretty standard. I'm going to go over the new Camelback legacy engine, something that we haven't ever seen in legacy. We've done in TMCC, and we've also done it in Lion Chief Plus, but now we have the legacy version, so I'm going to demo that this evening. And the other thing that I want to talk about today is our new and improved CW80. I'm sure most of you know CW80 has been a Lionel transformer for a couple of decades now. I don't remember exactly when it first came out, but it's been in the Lionel line for many, many years, and we have completely redone the electronics, and I just want to quickly show some of the new features and changes to that transformer and get everybody excited for it now that they're in production and we'll be shipping here later this summer. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll go through questions at the end after I get through talking about the CW80 and the Camelback. And then we'll go through questions and answer anything that people may have. Mostly engineering related. I don't always know about color schemes and when things are going to deliver, but I'll try my best. So let me add the camera here for the CW80. And there it is. Ta-da! That's a transformer, but it's not actually a robot in disguise. That's too bad. So this is a production sample of the upgraded CW80 transformer, and we've actually not had the CW80 in our line for about 2 years now. And when we ran out of stock, we ended up having to do the same thing that we did with the Powerhouse 180 a few years ago, and that was redo the electronics due to new government mandates, new energy efficiency requirements, etc. So this has an all-new core and an all-new circuit board, and because of that, kind of the operation has changed just a little bit. So I want to show everybody that now. It still looks the same for the most part from the outside. Obviously, you have your track and accessory terminals here on the back. I just have a couple of spade connectors or fork connectors connected, but you can also use banana jacks here, which are coming very handy. And you have the orange throttle handle here. It does have the 0 through 100 on the handle here. And one thing I don't think a lot of people know or ever use, but this old tooling, this casing does have mounting holes. So if you have a bunch of these on your layout, you can even mount them to the side of your layout like this, or even underneath if you're not often using it, if you're just using it for accessory power. So it's very versatile. You will be able to tell the new transformer from the older version just by looking at it in 2 ways. One is the logo. The old one had a different color here on the Lionel word. So this one now has a white background. And yeah, that's one way you can tell. The other way you can tell is the LED. Now, for those familiar with the older version of the CW80, this was a green lens with just a single light. But now in this new revised version, it's similar to the GW180 transformer that we make in that the lens is clear and you actually have 2 LEDs inside. There's a green and there's a red. And I'll go over that function here shortly. Rick, I do want to answer your question real quick. Yes, it puts out 18 volts. It is definitely an improved transformer over the version that did not. So we've made this into a good, reliable transformer that I really think the CW80 needed to be. Now this still has it where if you hold down all 3 of these buttons, and you move the throttle, you can actually adjust the voltage that the fixed accessory terminal outputs. So what I like to do when setting that is actually put a voltage meter on the accessory terminals, the common and the positive, and adjust the voltage to whatever I want. On my home layout, most of my accessories run at 14 volts. So I'll hold down the 3 buttons, and you'll see the LED over there flashing. And then you just move the handle up until you get the voltage reading that you want, and then you let go. And then the LED is going to keep flashing because it's waiting for you to actually set that voltage by bringing the handle all the way back down. Now the voltage output is what you set it to. And that'll stay the same regardless if you unplug the transformer and plug it back in, or it'll stay that same voltage level until you reset it again using the procedure I just shown. So it's a great way to adjust the voltage for your accessories. If you're running lights, you don't need higher voltage like that. But if you're running things like command control switches off of accessory voltage instead of track power, or even operating accessories, you do want different voltages, and you can customize it that way. And then obviously the track power terminals, that voltage is based off the position of the handle here. So obviously as you increase the handle position, you'll get closer to the 18 volts. I think this transformer actually puts out a clean 19 volts. In our electronics, they'll go up to 20 volts before they're damaged. So you don't ever have to worry about a CW80 damaging any of your Lionel engines. Now, to get back to that LED operation. So it's green when your power is normal. Everything's good to go. It's plugged into your track and waiting for you to run your trains or your accessories. But if you have a short, and this short can be either via a derailment on your track, or it can be a short when you're, operating an accessory and it has some kind of mishap. So shorts happen, right? Short circuits happen. What I have here is with my 2 terminals that I have plugged into the back of the accessory here. I'm just going to replicate a short or a derailment just by going like this. And what you'll see is when it shorts, the LED will go from green to red. Now, if it's a quick short like that, right, if I just do it real quick, the LED will flash red, which means it's cutting power, and then it'll resume power after a few seconds after rechecking if the short is still there. If the short does not go away, it'll actually trip. So now it's red, and no matter what, your voltage is now off. So to reset the transformer, you have to actually pull the throttle up and then push it back down. And now your transformer is reset, and it will recheck if that short is there or not. And if the short is still there, it'll go back to flashing red and kill the power. So it's an active protection for your accessories and your trains, but also active protection for the CW80 itself. But you don't have to worry about a fuse that you have to go in there and replace or anything like that. It's based off the same core idea as the new Powerhouse 180, and in all of our testing and design and ETL certification, it has really become a robust and reliable transformer. So I'm excited to see these ship here probably in August. So that's one thing I wanted to go over, and it's also a very good transformer for those entering the hobby that want AC power instead of the DC power wall warts that come with our ready-to-run sets. Maybe you have older trains that you inherited from grandpa or dad. These will operate those being AC power. So, and the last thing, and honestly my favorite feature of the new and improved CW80, is that there is no more cooling fan. The new electronics in this guy are so reliable, but also efficient, that there's no longer a need for a cooling fan in there. None of the temperature of the electronics inside get anywhere near hot enough to require cooling. So you will no longer hear an annoying buzzing fan noise coming from the back of this thing, like so many people have come to love with the older CW80. So there's a little bit of excitement on the product front. Hopefully once these ship, you guys will pick them up and see that the improvements have been great. So let me remove that real quick. All right, and now I'm back from showing choo-choos. So let me move this guy out of the way, and I'm going to reset the position of the camera because I want to talk about our new legacy Camelbacks. So give me 1 second, move the camera, and grab the remote. Now I'm going to add the stream back. All right. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, so this is our production sample of the Genset. I've already gone over the Genset switcher, the newer legacy version, on the show. I think it was either last episode or the episode before. But this is a deco sample, and this is showing the Pensy single stripe version with the red roof. And I think the detailing turned out really nice. I do have the flapper version of the smokestacks on, so if I look up close, these are the ones where when the smoke unit comes on, you can actually see the flappers open and close. That was always one of my favorite features of the Vision Line version that carried into the regular legacy version. So sharp looking paint scheme. Didn't actually intend to show that, but there it was sitting. So nice little preview of one of the deco samples. But anyways, let me wake up the first legacy Camelback engine and bring it into screen here. If I turned on track power, that is. There we go. All right, there it is. All right, so the first version I want to show, I'm going to turn the volume down so I can talk for a minute. This is actually our Halloween version. So if you look in the catalog, you saw all the other versions with the standard road names. And we also threw in a Halloween version to celebrate 10/31, as you know Halloween is. So with this one, obviously, both engines I'm going to show tonight are the engineering prototypes, which means they have no paint on them. They're just bare metal. But I can at least demonstrate the operation and demonstrate the audio. Excuse all of the stickers on these, by the way. These are how we label it so that we know what version of code we have in them as we're working on them. But I can remove those, and hopefully none of the other engineers will yell at me for doing that. That audio guy, he likes to yell. So this is our legacy Camelback. For those unfamiliar, this engine has been around in the Lionel line for many years. And I actually like the details. We did this as a Lion Chief Plus version the last time we did it. And this time we thought, well, man, there's so many good details on this engine that why don't we just do it in Legacy? And then we actually ended up adding a few details to it. You know, everything from the roof hatch to a few of the separate brass details on the sides. Obviously, we had to isolate the handrails to use them as the antenna. And a few others. We added cab lights here under the crew figures. Obviously, we got the bicolor marker lights up there, you know, that change from the white to green, like I've shown many times on the show. Plus, you know, there's a headlight up there. We also got the dual smoke in this engine. So you got the smokestack, and we have whistle steam, which is all the way back here behind the cab. But they all feed off the dual smoke unit that's up here underneath the smokestack. And we have a pipe that goes back to the whistle location. So you can see the smoke there. It's not always easy to see on camera. So that's one of the hallmark sounds of a legacy Halloween engine is the quilling wolf. Always a favorite here. We've done a couple of legacy Halloween engines, and this one just gets the gets the full treatment of our legacy Halloween audio. But we have our 5 whistle options here in this engine, as those of you who've been watching my show know. So if you get tired of listening to the wolf, all you do is you press the aux 1 button on the cab 2 and you blow the whistle again. And we'll go through all the other whistles so you'll see what your options are. Can't have Halloween without a banshee. One of our hooter whistles, and the last one's actually my favorite for the engine because it feels the eeriest. Very fitting for Halloween, in my opinion. But for the bell, we also have the Halloween-sounding bell. And with aux 1 and pressing the bell, you can go through the 5 different pitch levels. And all the different whistles and all the different bells are also available to change using the free Lion Chief Bluetooth app. You can download for Android or iOS. So with our last legacy Halloween engines, we do have Dracula as the main character, the engineer.
Why aren't we moving?
Because I'm showing the people to you. You to the people.
It's time for our departure. Magnificent! My coal is full.
Oh, let's fill the water.
Magnificent! The blood is full.
Oh, there go my lights. Oh well. There's also a special sound on the aux 3 key. Hopefully that doesn't come through too distorted over camera, but it's a thunderstorm. And then also on the 7 key, we do have the train sounds that we call. There's a couple of hidden characters on that key, so if you play around with it, you get different announcements whether the engine is stopped or it's moving.
And now, my creature, I give you life.
Oh, that's great.
And now, my creature, I give you life.
So this is a fun one. I'm not going to play all of it because I don't want to give it all away, but definitely a fun one for Halloween and a fun one for the kids. So look for the Halloween Camelback coming to a graveyard near you. Ha 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 ha. I'll shut up now. All right, and the other Camelback that I'm going to bring in is the the standard version, i.e., the different prototypical road names. If I can, here we go. So this one has similar features to the one I just shown in terms of operation with lighting and basic sounds like chuff. And some of the same whistles are used too. Obviously, there's no quilling whistle for a wolf. And there's no Dracula in the cab. Just kind of regular railroad guys.
Dispatcher, air is made. Brake test complete. Are we clear to pull? Over. Hold your position. Out.
So this is a great one. I'm going to actually pick the camera up and show a few more features of this guy. As with all legacy engines, you got your electric coupler. I think it was already open. One thing that I like about this engine, I'm going to disconnect the tender real quick. But in the back of the engine, there actually are 2 smoke boxes, and we have flickering, or firebox rather. Or you get the flickering firebox on both sides. So that's a neat effect. For those who don't know, the Camelbacks had the cabs located in the center of the engine in real life because they had to have a super large firebox. And the reason they had a super large firebox is because they burnt anthracite coal, which was just cheaper for the railroads to use and readily available where these engines were used. So that's why it's such a weird looking engine, and also why we felt like it was a good candidate for a Halloween engine, just because it's so different and unique and weird looking, like me. So just wanted to show that cool feature. Now I'll go through the different horns, or whistles rather, on this one as well. Cab 2 remotes are dying, or batteries are dying here. Boy, this remote is fighting me. I might have to get new batteries. There we go. And then obviously the bell has the 5 different pitch levels. It is a slower cadence of a bell, as they have actual air ring or swinging bells and not air ringers. Yeah, the remote's dying on me, so I'm not going to go through all those. But yeah, that's been a really cool engine. I'm excited for these to come out. I believe they'll be shipping later, towards the end of summer. They're being worked on now. They'll have the real coal load in them, and the tenders, and all the deco schemes that you can see if you open up the 2021 C1 catalog. And yeah, get excited. All right, so that shows it for that engine. That does it for the 2 things I wanted to show tonight, which were the Camelback and the CW80. So you guys got any questions? I'm not going to scroll back up through. So if you got any questions that are just burning at you right now, type them in, and I'll wait here while I remove the choo-choo camera. Turn that off. All right. Rick, were there any camels injured during... No, there were not any camels injured. Glenn asked, does this have whistle steam? Yes, it does, Glenn. Once this broadcast is over, you can go back through and watch the rest of the video where I did show the whistle steam. These do have a DSMK, which is a dual smoke unit, and that smoke unit provides the steam for the stack smoke and for the whistle steam. What else you got? New Line Chief Plus 2.0 steam. Yes, sir, Joshua. Every catalog, you'll see new LC 2.0 engines. And the next line I'll catalog, the 2021 C2 catalog, will be going live middle of the month. I forget the exact date, but middle of the month next month. So sometime in July, about a month from now. So get excited for that. I think people are going to be excited for the options we have in this upcoming catalog. For a C2 catalog, it's really going to blow the doors off. So Christmas Camelback. Well, you're going to have to ask Ryan that one. He's the one that chooses which ones we do for Christmas and Halloween and all the other road names. But I'm sure he's watching, and he'll put a sticky note for that on there. Harry asked, Dave, you guys do some other sound cars like co-loading? Yeah, we actually have been doing other audio cars, command-controlled sound cars. The latest was the cattle car that we did that had the quilling cow. And then in the last catalog, 21C1, We put the Vision Line freight boxcars in there. Those are going to have all new audio to them as well. So it'll be unloading and loading more generalized merchandise like boxes and crates and stuff. And we have other sound cars planned for the future as well. They always do very well. People like the audio. So Ronald asked, at the Pennsylvania Railroad S1 coming soon? Yes. I don't have an exact date, but I believe those are already through production and well under the way. So you're going to see them here in summertime. UP excursion cars, Peter, that one I'll throw at Ryan as well. I know that one is a beloved train, so I'm sure he's got it on the list to do more cars to go with that set. See what else we got here. It looks like it. So, all right. Thanks everybody for joining me on this Monday afternoon and going over some of the things I get to play with here in engineering. And I'll see you next time. Probably have another episode next month sometimes. Just look for the announcement on Facebook and have a good week. See you later. Enjoy. Bye-bye.